But yeah, I'm Ben, I'm one of the new fellows, so hello everyone, how are we all? Having a good day, had some cake and a bit of coffee. Oh, I have anyway. Yeah, so I don't really know in any definite way what I'm going to be doing while I'm here. But I guess I'm new, so I'm allowed to kind of like try and find some sort of platform to do some new work on. So unfortunately, you've kind of got like a problem that I had when I was a student, and then my life story and lots of stuff. And yeah, so really what I want to do while I am here is kind of go back to art school, kind of sort of have background in fine art, and tangle with some sort of issues that I got lost in a little bit. You know, as you leave and you've got to earn some money and do lots of other stuff. But I thought, hey, I'm an art fellow, or you know, let's do some art thinking. So I'd like to tangle with some artistic kind of concepts once again. So this is that's a very quick kind of intro to the intro. So there's an important thing that you probably need to know a little bit about, which is I can be something of a flux, and that means absolutely nothing. But you know, I'm a little bit kind of fog-like and kind of spread thin and change shape a lot and do different bits and bobs. And so I get known for being many things to many people and in many different ways and work in many guises, which is a really awful exercise in branding. I don't recommend you do that at all. If you want to be successful in life, just pick one thing, do that thing, and just only do that thing, and you'll get known for doing that thing. But in a very broad sense, I work creatively and often with technology and frequently involved in some kind of performance. So I quite like performance art and music and stuff. Despite the kind of amorphous, fog-like flux of nonsense that my life has become, there are kind of threads that are recurrent, and trying to work out what on earth they are and what they mean is kind of what I think I'm going to do over the next year in some way, in an artistic way. So one of the main things that I do is work, you know, earn a bit of money. So I run a business called Cyclone Lab. It's basically me on freelance. I'm a multimedia designer and developer, or in a bracket, creative coder. So I do a lot of programming work, web development, apps, this and that, basically, whatever rolls in. And so that's a large part of what I do. I work quite frequently with artists and musicians, and in education a little bit as well. And yeah, sometimes I get a chance to build sort of interactive artworks and things like that. So it's not all boring code, but most of it is. But one project that I made a while back was, which I got known for and then dropped in my usual fog-like misty state, is Flummox, which is a piece of VJ software. So I don't know if anybody's a VJ. So VJing, if you're not familiar, is like video mixing. It's kind of what people do at music venues where they have big screens and you have music on in the background. So this is me with less hair and a touch more weight, and that's a big rave in Greece where I spent a lot of time at festivals and parties and making video graphics appear in Flash to music and do all that kind of stuff. So I built a piece of software, and that was one of the things that was the kind of backbone for my current like freelance business. So apart from doing stuff for art and music, I taught for 5 years. So I taught lots of Photoshop and Dreamweaver and so on, and I did a bit of business entrepreneurial fellowshipping. So yeah, that's me. I put some clip art in there because, you know, PowerPoint, right? The second big thread or strand of nonsense that takes up a lot of my time, and I don't recommend that you do this either, but is a project called MaggotHouse, which, I best speed up, is noise art and nonsense. It's basically an alcohol-fueled teenage bedroom buffoonery project. We do occasional events and bits and bobs, attempting to catch moments of accidental genius among all the crazy nonsense that we throw together. I'm sure you'll be looking that up. The next big strand of things that I do is Swamp Thing. It seems to be jumping ahead a lot on my thingy bob, but hey. Swamp Thing is a collective, an 8-man kind of, well, we wear these masks, and we make rave craft and zombie bass and ritualized punk technology. We make our own instruments and do a lot of art events, and that's me. Playing a pink guitar, amazing. There's other people involved, it's not just me, so I can't claim all the credit for Swamp Thing at all. You may have seen us around if you're a Brummie kind of art type. But what I'd really like to do while I'm here at BOM is just kind of refocus a little bit on my creative practice. So there's a little bit of clip art for you. That's me refocusing. And return to a little bit of unfinished art school business. When I was at uni, I kind of lost my faith in art. I talked myself into some philosophical knots and broke my neck, in a car crash, and spent a lot of time feeling a bit frail. So I learned to program and made a computer game that you could play from a hospital bed. I did an illegal rave at Margaret Street and danced in a sleeping bag until I was too exhausted in a sort of ritualistic endurance thing. But I kind of lost my thread, and I want to go back to a time where I was a little bit, my ideas were bigger, and I was more interested in grander projects. So when I was at college, I put Pulp Fiction back in order and reshot the whole thing with Spice Girl dolls. And the one at the top, which I think Andy was kind enough to show, was a video where I wrapped myself in cling film in a mountaineering harness and hung myself in a kind of scaffold. So my ideas were a little bit bigger, and I kind of got a bit phased out with trying to earn money and stuff when I left sort of uni, whatever. But I'd like to go back and maybe do something along those lines. So I'm hoping to do maybe 2 events or installations or project exhibitions. I don't really know, but there will be something, I'm sure. There's lots to pick from that I can bring in. So I thought the best place to start is with a big list of themes, and it's a very wordy list, and I deliberately made it very artistic. So subverting context is something that I'm interested in. Transforming cause and effect, using technology to extend senses and abilities, which is kind of part and parcel of the same thing, really. Urban shamanism for the atheist, I'll come back to it in 1 second, that's been brought back to me a couple of times. I'm interested in club culture and tribalism. Dance and sexuality for simpletons. Everybody knows what that's like. And exploring adult attitudes through childish play. I think there's a lot to be said for your subconscious coming out and being a bit free form and not worrying too much about what you're doing. And physical expression and barriers of performance in personal space. I explore a little bit through performance and music. And presence within and augmentation of environment. Just to prove that shamanism isn't just a weird word that I've picked out out the sky, and I've just just making up nonsense. I spent a fair bit of time in Central and South America, and these are my pictures of that's a real shaman at a graveside, and the guy at the top right is a fella called Mashimon, who's a Guatemalan kind of travelling saint. But if you just think I'm crazy, then I've done a little bit of groundwork as well. But I'm really interested in part of my problem at uni, I think, which I want to rediscover a little bit, is I lost my faith that what I was doing actually communicated anything that I intended, and that I was getting critiques and people were just kind of, some of my tutors thought I was just wasting my time, or just messing them around, and that I'd been doing nothing for months. And I'd worked really hard, and I got all sad about this and thought, I hate you, art, you betrayed me. And so I really want to know what you guys, if anything, find in some of the things that I've done. Obviously not right now, but If you've got anything that pops up into your mind, I'd like to hear about that. But what I think my problem was that I'd like to retrace is the communication between my kind of like investing months and time and effort and such in an artwork, and then you deliver it and you think, this is going to be brilliant, people are going to get this, and then people go, and I kind of want to come back to that and kind of like fine-tune my sort of communication skills a little bit for some complicated art ideas. So yeah, that's what I'd like. So obviously a key component of that is other people, which I kind of overlooked first time around. So I'd like to know what you think of things. And that's the end. But thanks for listening and allowing me to indulge myself a little bit. I'm sorry if that was a kind of ramble of manic proportions. But yeah, I would love to hear from you, and you can check out more on the website. And I do have a mask, a rave mask,